All right, as we do every Friday, it's time for the week in perspective. Today, we will look at the latest IMF report on Kenya's economic health and the Kenol-Kobil alleged acquisition saga. Joining me for this is CEO of Mentoria and economist Ken Gishinga. Welcome, Ken.
Thank you for having me.
All right, as always, it's a pleasure to have you with us. And today, let's start off with the IMF report on the Kenyan economic health. Hopefully, we can get that up here. Now, the shilling, they say, may be overvalued by 17.5%. So, what does it mean when we say currency is overvalued? What are the factors involved in overvaluation of a currency?
That was a very eye-opening statement they made. They said that the shilling is overvalued by 17.5%, which says, according to them, if we had a free market, the US dollar to the Kenya shilling exchange rate should have been at 117, 118, according to their analysis.
Yes.
That got investors a bit worried because, according to their assessment, is our currency exchange is not freely managed, is not following supply and demand, but rather it's actually being managed by the central bank, which is not a very good indicator of free-flowing economy. So that got a lot of eyebrows raised, especially among investors, because it showed our currency could be not where it should be. And I can understand where the central bank is coming from, because Kenya's debt is 74% of Kenya's debt is in dollar-denominated currency.
Yes.
So it's in the best interest of Kenya's currency to remain stable. So that could be the reason why the CBK has been possibly intervening in the market much more than is normal.
That's interesting you say that, because of course the shilling is a sensitive subject as the country's authority, since every percentage devaluation means the size of external debt grows.
Absolutely. And the big question is, how do they get to this question of a currency is overvalued or undervalued?
Yes.
Remember, money is always chasing returns. Investors are always looking for a place to get higher returns.
Yes.
When the US federal funds rate went up by 0.25%, we saw a lot of dollars leaving Kenya, leaving the emerging markets, going back to the US.
True.
So a big indicator of that, we should have seen a lot of currencies weakening in Africa, but Kenya's currency didn't weaken. And I think that was sort of like an insider peek on what could be happening at the central bank.
So that gave them a little bit of a go-ahead that there might be something they want to look at there. So position calls CBK's monetary policy into question, as we've said. Now, local currency could soon be classified as managed. When we say that the reclassification from floating to managed arrangement,